Hey, it's your soul sister, Iona. So welcome to day 22 of my spiritual journal. So I invite you to get out your spiritual journal. I call mine the Soul Legacy Journal, and journal with me in today's episode on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. And we're talking about contribution freedom for light workers. So if you have an online spiritual business, or you want to start an online spiritual business, or you want to leverage or revamp or pivot, then this is going to be the video for you. So I talk about spirituality and business success without doing busy work, without being broke, and without being burnt out. I think it's really important as light workers that we do learn to do our work in the world, and we learn to really tune into our mission and our movement and get our message out there and actually receive the money that we can for our work in the world. So I want to talk about that today, and the spiritual routines and rituals that I use to help me do my work in the world. I'm going to talk about the day that I've had today and how I plan out, and sometimes what actually stops us from moving forward. I'm going to talk about some things that people come to me for as well. So stay tuned for that. I am going to pull as part of my spiritual ritual and routine, I've been pulling the Keepers of the Light card. So I have a card for you, and I believe that it's for me and it's for you as well. So I'm going to do that at the end. What else? I'm going to share the book that I have been reading. Every single day I read or listen to a chapter of a book that's related to the particular day that I want to focus on. So Monday is intentional living in the way of contribution freedom. So I've actually chosen the book Asking It Is Given. So I'm going to share what I learned and what I heard, what I confirmed from that book today. Let me know if you've actually read that book, if it's one of your favorite books, if you've ever heard of Esther and Jerry Hicks and Abraham's teachings. I love their work. I have playlists relating to all of the areas of my life. So for my spiritual journal and journaling, I break up my life into 7 areas for intentional living. And I'm going to talk about contribution freedom. So I use this Soul Legacy Journal. It's a notebook. I have 2 versions. I have one on Amazon, which is a blank notebook, and then one on Lulu, which is a lined notebook. So I'm going to have more, and I'll share with you. So this is the Soul Legacy Journal notebook. It's 365 days of your spiritual awakening story, meaning that when we go through a spiritual awakening as light workers, oftentimes it takes a while to decipher and get clarity around what it is that we want to bring to the world, how we want to have that transformation, how we want to add that transformation. And it takes a while to do the work on ourselves to for the outer world to kind of catch up. So I'm going to talk about that today. And I say that it's a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So I talk about spiritual awakening on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. I talk about spiritual ascension and spiritual alchemy, essentially. So I do have a co-authored book series for my co-authors to share their spiritual awakening story, and also the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, where fellow soul-guided influencers, YouTubers, healers, gurus, I will be inviting to speak on that and share their spiritual awakening story. So my spiritual awakening story has led me to the place that I am, to contributing the way, having the vision to contribute in the way that I do. And so I have a spiritual vision board challenge for you if you're new to me, if you haven't heard of that, and I'll have that in the description and in the cards. And that's what sparked this journey of me contributing a vision board. Don't know if you've ever created a vision board, let me know. So when I heard of the law of attraction and the secret and vision boards and gratitude, we'll talk about gratitude as well. I have a gratitude stone. It's the love heart gratitude stone that my daughter gave me. So I often say as part of my intentional living, spiritual routines and rituals, gratitude, and that becomes part of my journaling process. And so I learned about the law of attraction years ago, 2008, I think, 2009. and I created a vision board back then. And I called myself the vision coach. That's how I wanted to contribute holistic life coaching for women back then. And a lot has happened since then. I didn't even know the online space. I didn't know the possibilities. I didn't know about working globally. So one of the things when I'm thinking about my spiritual business and creating my spiritual business, I'm here in the UK. Today, I was, when you have so many ideas, right? And I've got lots of ideas and so many things to do in your spiritual business, and sometimes you don't necessarily know what to do first. So people come to me, I'm very organized, and so today I noticed that I was fleeing from one idea to the next idea to get certain things done. Sometimes it is that when we set a vision to do a certain thing, we have to do other things in order for that thing to be done. That tends to happen. So say for this spiritual journal to be done, then I wanted to get the spiritual journal on Amazon so I could share it and so I could write in it. So there's a process of things to be done in a certain order. And so Wallace D. Wattles talks about doing things in a certain way. And I've learned that doing things in a certain way gets you a certain result. So I'm very mindful when I'm not doing things in a certain way. And so today, one of the reasons why I was doing things in a different way is because I was listening back to my old boot camp, and I'm recreating the first step. And the first step is about creating your YouTube Soul Tribe avatar profile. And so I practice what I preach and I go through my own lessons. And so for me, really recreating my own avatar, meaning I've evolved, and so I want to reach the light workers who have been where I was. And so I've given myself grace for moving forward, but also it's that deciphering how far you've moved forward, where you want to actually reach people. So I was doing that today, and it's not like, it's a simple process, but it's not always easy. And I always get that I always come to the point where I take that soul guided action where I feel what the person, what you might feel. So if I'm teaching you, I'm feeling what you would feel, that certain confusion, not clarity, or what have you. So I get to feel it again so I can teach it even better. But in that moment, I'm like, what is that? And then I realize that's what it is. And so I often get those confirmations. So that's what I was doing today. And that's what I'll do over this week, to really be clear on who I'm speaking to, who I want to actually reach. And one of the reasons that I'm doing that also is because I'm creating the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit and also taking my book on a media tour. So I teach creating your MMMK, I call it, your Movement Marketing Media Kit, Movement Marketing and Niche Marketing Media Kit. And if you don't know what that is, then I'll ask any questions. I do have a playlist which I'll be sharing once I actually get that out there. And so I'm known for doing interviews, I'm known for being interviewed. And so being really clear before you go out and speak, before you go out and make that massive contribution to the world, you want to be very clear on who it is that you want to speak to. So on the Soul Legacy TV, I talk about aligning your movement, your message, and your money. And so I do practice what I preach. So I can't teach it unless I've done it. And so I've done it, and then I'm doing it again, but in an up-leveled way for 2022. So that's the kind of thought processes that I've had today. Really focusing on contribution, where I want to contribute, how I want to contribute in a really bigger way. And then what I do as part of my Soul Legacy journal is I visualize that. And I'll talk about the book from Abraham Hicks and the process that I was listening to today. Part of what I do is then in my spiritual journal, my Soul Legacy journal, I'll map that out as part of my intentional living. I'll map out not just the next week, but you want to know the action steps for where you want to go, your vision. And if you're new to me, I've mapped out my Soul Legacy Academy, and that's my online teaching portal for the next 7 years. And so I broke down a year, and then I just duplicated that year because I'm someone who loves leverage. And so I know what I want to do, right? And so I map that out, and then I'll map out like a month at a time, or what I need to happen in the season, or what I need to happen in that week. So we reverse engineer the process. People often come to me and let me know if this resonates with you, that where your vision is not clear. And I wanted to actually say that I have a free masterclass called Spiritual Biz YouTubers from Scratch Bank 50k in 50 Days Challenge. I'm going to talk about the banking 50k in 50 days, but doing it vibrationally first with this Soul Legacy Journal. I'll talk about that at the end. I'll make sure I make a note of it. Just being in vibrational match, which ties into the book that I was listening to today. So everything that I tend to do just is very intentional. I set that intention, and then the universe brings me what it is that I need. I don't prep for, or not much for, these videos. I've got some notes of the book, but I just write down kind of roughly what I want to cover and roughly what I want to speak about. But all, I've seen 1111, all of the things tie in because I'm being very intentional. So what I want to do is talk about my spiritual vision board and the idea behind that, the idea of living intentionally. And I talk about the vision that you have. So I have a vision board challenge. So it's a video montage. So I press my video montage and visualize myself every single day. So the book that I was reading was Asking It Is Given. And today was the process number 4 of your vibrational reality, your virtual reality, creating your virtual reality. And in that, they talk about lots of different things. So basically the law of attraction, but basically visualizing and affirming what it is that you want to actually happen, and setting that point of attraction, because your brain doesn't know $1 million for reals or $1 million in your imagination. Basically, that's what they were saying. And so when you're visualizing, thinking of the location, where is it? What is it that you want to do? Who is it that you want to do it with? What are you wearing? What are you saying? Like being really clear. And so that was part of my process today of being online, being on YouTube, speaking. Who would I be speaking with? What is it that I want to say? Like setting that energy forth before you actually do the thing. Do you do that? Set the energy forth before you actually do the thing, or visualize yourself. Sometimes when we visualize so much, when the thing actually happens, it's like, oh, okay, because it's already done in our mind. And so basically you just take the soul path of least resistance, I call it. So they were saying that in the book, just remembering like the law of attraction, what's underneath it, which is that vibration. And I talk about the law of vibration. I'm a law of vibration teacher. And they say the first step is to ask. And the second stage is answering the asking, which is not our job, it's the universe. And the third stage is allowing that, being in that receiving mode. And I call it a fearless receiving mode. So when we talk about intentional living and we talk about your vision for contributing out into the world, are you asking, allowing the universe to answer you, which that part I call filling in. So it's filling in the vision, and you get to take soul guided action steps and allow those action steps to fill in, and allow your vision to fill in ways that some things you will know and some things you don't know. Do you do that? With my spiritual vision board, I talk about vision, I talk about your values, and I talk about your vibration. So Asking It Is Given is a beautiful book. It's one of the first books that I started to listen to, that helped me get really clear on my vision, that helped me be in alignment with my values. And my values for contributing out into the world are definitely honesty and integrity with some people that are out in the world, some people that are online, and they're talking about go out there and build a list, build your spiritual, well, not even spiritual business, build your business, and go out there and build an email list, and the money's in a list. And it just wasn't really in alignment for me. I wanted to build a legacy, hence why I created the Soul Legacy Academy. And the masterclass that I talk about, my masterclass, which I first did like 2015. It is the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass. It's upgraded now and bank 50k in 50 days. And we do that, banking 50k in 50 days, on this YouTube podcast, where we do it vibrationally. We do the money vibrationally so that you can be in alignment with receiving it. So we're doing the visible world stuff and the vibrational world stuff for you to contribute. So I want to talk about the way that you feel when you're doing that visualization, or the way that you feel in relation to each area of your life. So every day on the SoulLegacyTV YouTube podcast, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and click like and leave a comment, because it helps with the algorithm, and then click the bell to get notified when I do go live. If you find this of value, do share it out. So when we talk about doing our contribution for our business, and doing it vibrationally, we want to get clear on our vibration, right? I want to support you in getting clear on your vibration and how you want to contribute in the world. And one of the ways that I do that is through the masterclass. Another way that I do that is through my book. It's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a Soul Guided Influencers Compass to Leveraging Your Light Work and Your Lifestyle on YouTube. So in each area of your life, while you're building your spiritual business, what I love to do is think about living intentionally, living in alignment in each area of your life. So the first area that I talk about, which is Monday, it's Monday today, I'm going live from the UK, is contribution freedom. The second area is health freedom, and emitting the frequency of that and visualizing. That's why I do the vision board challenge, is visualizing, right? Your health, how your health is while you're contributing in the world. And I mean emotional health, physical health, mental health, environmental health, spiritual health, social health, all of the healths that you could possibly think of. And I mentioned them all on my vision board challenge. For me, I'll visualize all of that, and then I'll set intentions, which I talk about on a Tuesday, to manage my health. And the biggest one for me right now is fuel. The fuel, what I'm fueling my mind with, that's good. What I'm fueling my body with, that's good as well. So I usually rate my life, each area, between a 1 and 11, and I talk about that on the vision board challenge. So if you don't know what I mean, it's kind of like the wheel of life, where you give yourself a rating between 0 and 10. We don't have a 0 because you're breathing, so we start with 1, and we don't go to 10, we go to 11, we go to source, we go to our North Star, we go to connect with our higher self. So it's between 1 and 11 I rate myself. So today, for my contribution freedom, I'd definitely say an 11. I'm on my way to really up leveling the journey that I see for 2022. So the third area is emotional freedom. On a Wednesday, I talk about on the SoulLegacyTV YouTube podcast, I talk about environmental freedom. So you imagine visualizing all of these areas of your life while you're doing your work in the world, while you're doing your spiritual business. Relationship freedom's on a Friday, spiritual freedom is on a Saturday, and financial freedom's on a Sunday. So you're not just giving contribution. What I want you to be doing is seeing yourself receiving. So I said I wanted to just bring in some of the things that people come to me for, and some of the things that I ask. So on my masterclass, I cover 3 lessons: speaking via video, serving via video, and signing up via video. And I offer, for those who attend the masterclass and for those who download the first free chapter of my book, a free chapter VIP day, group VIP day, about launching your online spiritual business and launching a spiritual book at the same time. And so that's what I'm doing, right? And so I ask different questions to see how in alignment that you are with that vision, with the vision that you have to making your difference in the world in relation to contribution, because that's what it's for. So I ask about whether you want to be an author. Do you want to be an author? Are you already an author? Are you getting your work out there in the world the way that your written work, your book, the way that you want to? Do you know how to do that? Do you have a media kit? What kind of spiritual coach, healer, medium are you? Are you a spiritual? Would you call yourself a spiritual leader, spiritual coach, spiritual therapist, counselor? What would you call yourself? And I feel like sometimes there's labels, right? And I call myself a spiritual business model mentor. But sometimes when we put that label and we want to make a stand, and I talk about this on my masterclass and my bonuses, and we want to make a stand for what we want to do in the world, but then we have some fear and resistance around it. So, what do you stand for? Do you have a movement inside of you? Do you want to start a podcast? Have you ever thought of doing a YouTube podcast? What's your income goal? And do you have a plan to actually get your work out there? What have you been using to actually do your reach your soul clients, reaching out? Some people come to me and they say they're not clear on the goals. They don't know how to reach out or where to find their soul clients. I call soul clients. Or manage their time. And part of me doing the spiritual journal and intentional living is to help you schedule out your time, to help you manage your time, help you manage your energy, and help you manage your money. And so you might have fears, you might have doubts. And so us doing the spiritual journal and you coming to spiritual journal with me is getting in tune with where you are now, what it is that you're doing, and planning that out and seeing, okay, well, this next week, this is what I need to do. And so seeing if there's fears that come up, seeing if you're clear, taking one piece at a time. Some people want to do a podcast, some people want to do a summit, some people want to, and there's so many pieces to all that, all of which I teach, but there's so many pieces within that. The first piece starts with that clarity on knowing who it is that you're speaking to and why it is that you're speaking to them. Let me know if you're clear on that, because it really does matter. So that's what I want to say about that. So what I want to do is share the quote that I had today. Every day when I go into my office, I have an app called Momentum. It's a really beautiful app, and I talk about it and I name it because if you don't have it, get it. It helps you to focus. It helps you to give momentum basically to your day. And so if you don't use it and you just got it there, like, you definitely, I would say use it. It's helpful. So on this Momentum app, this is the quote for today, which I believe is for you as well. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Do you believe in the beauty of your dreams? Are you clear on your dreams? Do you have dreams? Do you dare to dream? Do you trust yourself to dream? Hopefully you do, right? Let's do the soul income game. If you've never done the soul income game, this Soul Legacy Journal, that's the back of it, gives you $1,000, pounds, or euros every single day, depending on where you are in the world, to spend. And so the next process in the book, Asking is Given, on the Audible book, is the prosperity game from Abraham Hicks. And so if you're familiar with that game, if you're not familiar with the game, I'll tell you. They give you $1,000 one day, and then 2,000 and 3,000 the next day. And then by day 50, it's 50,000 that they give you to spend, like, on vibrationally. And if you do it for 300 days, you get 300,000 to spend in that day, because you're going to get more money. And if you do it for a year, you spend 66 million. So while I love the idea of the process and I love the feeling of it, I wanted to create something where it was more in relation to my spiritual business. That's why I developed the Bank 50K in 50 days and the Soul Legacy Journal. So they say, get a notebook or a checking account, make it as real as possible. So we can use the Soul Legacy Journal to write that down. And so the rules around the soul income game is you get $1,000, pounds, or euros every single day of vibrational money. and because it's a magical journal, right? And so when you journal with me, you get to play the soul income game. And so there's rules where you have to tithe 10% every single day. So get used to the energy of giving as well as receiving, because I know as light workers, we're like have that block, right? So the money that you receive, you get to give to a worthy cause of your choice every single day. And then you also get to, the rules are you don't get to spend it on bills because your bills are covered. I want you to feel that feeling of your bills being covered. And then you don't get to save it either. You have to spend it because all your savings are covered as well. So every single day you spend this vibrational money voucher. If you don't spend it on that day, it's fine. You can carry it over to up until the Sunday. So by the Sunday to spend all of the money. So I had done my it's Monday today for me at the time of going live. And so I did my money yesterday, which was Sunday, and today's Monday. And so I've got all week. So I'll tithe 10% to worthy cause, to cruise bereavement carers every day, because that means a lot to me. But once you've done that, so I did mine yesterday, it actually fuels into, and do the vibrational money voucher, but also do the money that's coming into your business and into your household for real. Be aware of that so that you can start to have those vibrations meet. And meaning that when you do the vibrational money voucher, then and play the soul client income game, excuse me, you can then on the Monday see how you can visualize yourself actually earning that money in your spiritual business. So how you can see yourself earning that 1,000. So we do that bank 50k in 50 days, and you get to be in vibrational alignment with it because you're seeing how you would spend it, and there shouldn't be any resistance to you spending it. However, I've had students who have had resistance to spending it, and you wouldn't think that you would, but it's really interesting to learn about yourself. It's definitely worth doing, spending that vibrational money voucher and going and having a look at the things that you actually want to experience, things that you want to buy, who you want to take on this journey with you, so that when you're building your spiritual business, you know that it's not just a one-sided energy of just contributing, giving, and not being willing to receive. All right. So the card that I want to leave you with, I pulled today from the Keepers of the Light and Carl Gray, is charity. All right. So prayer and contemplation. I don't pray. Connect with heaven and ask and you shall receive. So how beautiful is that? So ask and it is given was the book for today. So I'll read this and let me know if it resonates with you. This one didn't resonate with me as much as all the other ones have. However, I don't pray and I don't meditate very often. I meditated last week, but not every day. And my work feels like a state of meditation. And when I walk, it feels like a state of meditation. So I don't sit in a state of meditation. And what it says in here, I feel that state anyway, but it's probably telling me, Iona, you need to do this. I have resistance around it because I just feel like I'm kind of in that state anyway. So some things I will do and some things that I won't do. And so I will let you know by next Monday how I feel about this. And if I do start to do that, the energy of praying doesn't resonate with me. So let me know if it helps. But some of the words do resonate. So about faith and hope and charity are the trinity of archangels who are dedicated to helping us regain our natural traits of kindness. That resonates with me. Trust and faith in the highest good. Charity is the twin flame of the archangel Camille, or Camille, maybe Chameau, I'm not sure. She has a great spirit that encourages us to undertake the spiritual practices of prayer and meditation. So I talk about spiritual routines and spiritual rituals, and obviously spiritual practices, but I haven't with the prayer and meditation. And I didn't do the gratitude. Definitely remember to say you're happy and you're grateful and you appreciate some of the things that you are able to do for your contribution out into the world. Definitely do that. So that goes in your spiritual journal as well. Prayer is the way we speak with the divine, and meditation is the way we open ourselves to receive the answers we need to hear. So that prayer that is the way we speak with the divine. So I feel like I do that anyway. I talk about soul speaking into existence. I speak out loud all the time. And meditation is the way we open ourselves to receive the answers we need to hear. And that for me is that soul guidance that I hear every single day. So that's what it's like. It doesn't feel like a blocked connection, and it doesn't feel like a blocked asking. If it ever gets to that, then I would take the steps to do that, and let me know if that feels like what that feels like for you. Charity is also the angel who kisses the forehead of all those who pray in support of others. She absolutely loves to see this kindness because it creates inspirational, healing wave of goodwill to the world. I love that. Extended message. The powerful Archangel Charity is drawing close to you at this time because she has recognized that you have goodness in your heart to have, and you have put others first 100%. Let me just, she first brings you thanks and support. Move into prayer and meditation with regard to any decisions you have to make at this time. You are being guided to take the time to breathe and receive. Know that you will have a real surge of intuition when it's time to move forwards. And I love that because that's what's been going on for me over, like today when I was saying that I'm planning and I'm getting ready. It's kind of like that percolation, that incubationary period. That's what it feels like. Thank the angels for guiding you toward your highest good and welcome Charity into the space with you. I love that. So I welcome that. Let me know how you found that. I think it's beautiful. I think that no matter what happens sorry, I went a bit close. No matter what happens on a day-to-day basis with my spiritual journal and intentional living and speaking to fellow light workers, whatever needs to come through just comes through. Let me know if this message has resonated with you. Again, I am Iona, your soul sister, on the SoulLegacyTV YouTube podcast. Do definitely consider subscribing. Let me know if you've gone through my spiritual vision board challenge. It's a 7-day challenge. Each area of your life, I call them the 7 freedoms for intentional living. And if you are in the Soul Legacy Academy listening to this, I have a 2-hour monthly coaching call where we go through every single area of your life. And I talk about going from a poverty consciousness to a prosperity consciousness. Sometimes there's a little bit of lack and sometimes there's a little bit of confusion, how to make that transition. So, and not knowing where to start or not knowing the value that you have to offer. So oftentimes it's not that you don't offer that value and you can't contribute it out into the world, but oftentimes it's just that you're just not doing it or just not practicing it enough. So I'd love to support you in that. Again, the masterclass is in the comments and in the description. Register for the next live. I do it live on the last Monday of the month. And again, I have a VIP day for those who want to download the first free chapter of my book. Do share this out and I shall see you on the next video. So take care. Big love.